the heart of Lagos, there lives a woman whose beauty breaks marriages, bankrupts billionaires, and buries men alive not in coffins, but in curses. But before she became the most feared seductress in the city, she was just a poor, broken girl, hungry, humiliated, and heartbroken. Her name was Nenna. Born to a sick mother and a father who disappeared after losing his job, Nenna grew up in the cracked corners of a leaking Face Me I Face You compound in Ibute Meta. Every morning before school, she would hawk puff puff with her mother just to eat. But the children at school didn't care. They called her names Rag Girl, Aro Matter, Puff Puff Seller. One boy even spat in her water bottle, laughing as she cried. Only one person was kind to her. Tunde, her seatmate in SS1. He would share his meat pie with her and whisper, "Don't mind them, Nenna. One day, they will beg to know you." But after secondary school, when things got harder, Nenna's mother fell ill. She dropped out of university to care for her. That was when Tunde changed. He stopped picking her calls. One night, she saw a post. "Congrats to Tunde and his new babe, daughter of Senator Agoro." Nenna froze. She read it again. And again. The same Tunde who once kissed her behind the mango tree had married into wealth. That night, her mother coughed blood. The next morning, she died. And something inside Nenna died too. 2 years later, Nenna was cleaning offices in Victoria Island. She slept in a kiosk behind a shop and bathed in the dark. One night, she saw a familiar face at a lounge in Lekki. It was Chisholm, her former classmate. The same girl who once mocked her torn socks. Now she stepped out of a G-Wagon in designer heels. Chisholm recognized her. And for the first time, she didn't laugh. She hugged Nenna and said, "You still fine die. You don't deserve this life. Come with me. Just once." Nenna followed her, like a moth to fire. Chisholm took her to a mansion in Banana Island. The inside smelled like roses, and something darker. There were 5 women inside. All of them breathtaking. All of them staring. One woman stepped forward and said, "You've been chosen. Are you ready to make men suffer the way they made you suffer?" Nenna hesitated, until she saw a golden box open. Inside was 5 million Nigerian nairas in cash, a blood-red necklace, and a mirror. That night, under candlelight and blood oath, Nenna became Zinna, the one men would worship, fear, and never survive. Her first target was easy, a club owner named Kelvin. One smile. One night. He handed her his car keys and told his manager, "This is my wife now." But by dawn, his mouth was foaming. His driver found him crawling on the ground, whispering her name. He lived, but went mad. The doctors called it psychosis. Zinna called it the beginning. Within 6 months, everyone in Lagos knew her name. Zinna. She didn't chase men, men chased her. Billionaires, politicians, musicians. They lined up like worshippers at a shrine. Her Instagram grew from 300 followers to 3.5 million. Her bio. Just one line. Beauty is power. Blood is payment. Nobody understood it. But behind the beauty was a dark truth. Every man she slept with had 7 days left. On day 1, the man would feel euphoria, a high like no other. On day 2, he'd gift her something, a car, a house, a company. On day 3, he'd call her wife. On day 4, nosebleeds. Day 5, he would disappear. Day 6, he'd be found either dead or mad. And on day 7, his soul would be claimed at the old shrine beneath the mansion. By 2022, Zinna had collected 43 souls. One of them was Tunde, her first love. She didn't even flinch when he died. He left her for money. Now he died chasing it. Zinna had everything, private jets, endorsements, even a fashion line. But one night, she looked in her mirror and saw an old woman's face. She screamed. Her beauty returned instantly, but she knew what she saw. The curse was taking something too. Her soul, her time, her ability to feel love. She ran to Chisholm. "Why do I see things? Why do I feel nothing anymore?" Chisholm only smiled. Because, Zinna, love doesn't survive where death lives. Then came Uche, a young tech billionaire. Not loud. Not flashy. He met Zinna at a charity gala. He didn't flirt. He said, "I know your eyes are tired. Can I just sit here?" For the first time, she laughed without faking it. She tried to seduce him, but Uche didn't fall. He took her for a mala, told her stories about his late mother, and said, "I see pain in you. But I also see light." She warned him to stay away. But he didn't. And when they finally made love, nothing happened. No illness. No madness. No death. The shrine shook that night. The gods were angry. Zinna had done the forbidden. She loved a man and spared him. Chisholm came storming in the next morning. "You broke the seal. You ruined everything." Zinna begged. "Please, he's different. Let me go." But Chisholm whispered, "You can only leave with your life, or your soul." That night, Zinna ran. She told Uche everything and he understood. She and Uche disappeared into the night, passports, flight tickets, fake identities. But the Sisterhood doesn't allow traitors. They sent 3 women after her. One poisoned her food. Another crashed into her car. The third was Chisholm herself. They fought like lions. Chisholm fell from a rooftop, eyes wide, blood staining her designer scarf. Zinna wept. Not because she killed her, but because she saw who she had become. Zinna and Uche went quiet for a year. They lived in the hills of Kigali under new names. He proposed with a tiny ring and no paparazzi. She accepted, because for once, love felt safe. But the day of the wedding, she saw a red mark appear on her wrist. The sign of unfinished blood debt. She fell to her knees in the hotel bathroom, vomiting black liquid. She thought she could run from the gods. But the gods had been waiting. That night, the old shrine appeared to her in a dream. A voice said, "You have taken 43 souls. You must pay with 44. But there was a catch. The 44th soul had to be someone she loved." She woke up screaming. Uche held her. And she realized. He was the price. Zinna begged Uche to flee with her. She didn't tell him why. They boarded a flight from Kigali to Lagos. But at the airport, she passed out. And woke up in a white room surrounded by candles. The Sisterhood had found her. The high priestess gave her a blade. "Choose, his soul, or yours." Zinna looked at Uche, drugged, barely conscious. Her hands shook. And for the first time since she was 17, she wept like a child. She dropped the blade and whispered, "Take mine." They dragged her to the center of the shrine. Her skin began to crack. Her hair turned white. Her body lifted off the ground. The gods accepted her sacrifice. But instead of death, they gave her something else. They took her beauty and gave her freedom. Zinna woke up 3 days later, face scarred, body aged, but finally, free. 8 months later, she gave birth to a daughter. She was already pregnant because the Sisterhood caught her. Zinna named her Nenna, after her mother. Zinna built a new life in quiet place. With her daughter and Uche, he stood by her in every step she takes.